Hello and welcome to my channel. Bogdan #7.
Bruh. 1999 marked the end of a decade in Formula One that had proven to be tragic, but also very exciting and filled with interesting stories of both success and failure. Now, though, a real battle was brewing and it was just about to begin. Let's dive right in. While there were some regulation changes for the new season, they proved to be unimportant, and the tire war continued. Reigning champions McLaren retained their star lineup of reigning champion Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard. Ferrari had Michael Schumacher and Eddie Irvine using the same lineup as in the past few years. Williams introduced two new drivers for this season, Ralf Schumacher and Alessandro Zanardi. Jordan kept Hill for another season, now alongside Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Benetton continued their decline down the ranks, again with Alexander Wurz and Giancarlo Fisichella as their drivers. Sauber signed Gian Alesi and Pedro Diniz, two quite significant drivers for them. Arrows now featured Pedro de la Rosa and Toranosuke Tagaki as their drivers, with Repsol as their main sponsor. Stewart found an effective duo in Rubens Barrichello and Johnny Herbert for the new season. Prost chose to keep Olivier Panis and partnered him with a still young Jarno Trulli. Minardi brought in Luca Badoer and Mark Hinn, trying to have a different approach compared to the last few seasons. Bayard replaced Tyrrell on the grid, having brought in the talented Jacques Villeneuve to partner Ricardo Zonta for 1999. The calendar again featured 16 races, with the Malaysian Grand Prix replacing the outgoing Argentine Grand Prix and the Nürburgring returning to host the European Grand Prix. Even though McLaren locked out the front row in the first race in Melbourne, with Mika ahead, poor reliability meant that both drivers retired, allowing Irvine to win from Frentzen and Ralf Schumacher. Fisichella, Barrichello, and De La Rosa also scored points. The McLarens repeated their qualifying feat from Melbourne in Brazil, and this time only Coulthard retired, allowing Hakkinen to win from Michael Schumacher, Frentzen, the other Schumacher, Irvine, and Panis. With Luca Badoer injured, Stefan Saracen took his place in a one-off for Minardi in this race. After the McLarens again lined up in the same order on the front row, and with Mika looking set for another win, he spun and crashed to an unforced error at the San Marino Grand Prix. Michael Schumacher took the championship lead with the victory, with Coulthard unable to challenge him. Barrichello, Hill, Fisichella, and Alesi were all lapped but still scored points, and only 6 cars finished the race. Hakkinen narrowly beat the older Schumacher to pole in Monaco, as Bayard replaced an injured Zonta with Mika Salo for 3 races. In the race, Michael beat Irvine to Ferrari 1-2, with Hakkinen finishing third after slipping on oil behind them. Frentzen, Fisichella, and Wurz also scored points. McLaren finally had some luck in Spain, where Hakkinen took pole and won ahead of Coulthard, with Schumacher leading the Ferraris behind. Ralf Schumacher and Jarno Trulli also scored points. In Canada, after taking pole, Michael Schumacher was one of the drivers to crash into the wall of champions during the race. This allowed Hakkinen to take the championship lead and the race win, with Fisichella getting good points for Benetton in second, followed by Irvine, Ralf Schumacher, Herbert, and Diniz. A very surprising wet qualifying session in France saw Barrichello beat Alesi and Panis to a surprise pole position, with Coulthard the first of the potential title contenders. Frentzen then took a surprise win, with Hakkinen, Barrichello, the two Schumachers, Ralf ahead, and Irvine behind. This put Frentzen in potential title contention and saw Ferrari almost matched by McLaren in the constructors' title battle. Hakkinen was back on pole in Britain but retired from the race. Importantly, Michael Schumacher crashed and broke his leg, being replaced by Mika Salo for the next few races. This meant that Irvine now had to take the title fight to the McLarens. Coulthard won his home Grand Prix, with Irvine and Ralf Schumacher joining him on the podium. Frentzen, Hill and Diniz also scored points. Even though Hakkinen took pole in the McLaren front row lockout in Austria, Irvine responded to his new task by taking the victory ahead of Coulthard, Hakkinen, Frentzen, Wirtz and Diniz. Hakkinen was back on pole in Germany, but after his tire exploded, it turned out to be a Ferrari 1-2 with Irvine leading and now holding an 8-point lead in the championship. Frentzen, Ralf Schumacher, Coulthard and Panis followed, also in the points. Thankfully for him, Hakkinen did take pole and win in a McLaren 1-2 in Hungary, with Irvine in third, closing the gap to 2 points. Frentzen, Barrichello and Hill also scored points. Hakkinen took his 10th pole in the season's 12 races so far in Belgium, but was beaten to the win by his teammate. Frentzen, Irvine, the younger Schumacher and Hill followed. This allowed Mika to regain the championship lead by 1 point and McLaren to finally lead the Constructors' Championship. Again, Hakkinen took pole in Italy, but spun off on lap 29 and retired. Frentzen then took the win, putting him firmly in title contention, with Ralf Schumacher, Salo, Barrichello, Coulthard and Irvine behind. Frentzen followed his win with pole position at the Nürburgring, but it would be Herbert taking Stewart's first win in the chaotic wet race that unfolded. Truly, Barrichello, Ralf Schumacher, Hakkinen and Henn also scored points. On his return to Formula 1, Michael Schumacher took pole in Malaysia and eventually let his teammate pass, helping Ferrari secure what, after some disqualification drama caused by their own barge boards, would be confirmed as the 1-2. This gave Ferrari the constructors' lead by 4 points heading to the crucial final race. Hakkinen, Herbert, Barrichello and Frentzen completed the points, with Ferrari now having a 4-point advantage in both championships at this critical moment. So it all came down to Japan yet again. Schumacher beat Hakkinen and Coulthard to pole, but Irvine's 5th place wasn't particularly helpful. In the race, Hakkinen got past Schumacher and eventually proved too late for Irvine to beat him. His 3rd place behind Schumacher, who had tried everything to beat Mika but failed, wasn't enough to win him the championship, instead giving Hakkinen his 2nd title. However, with Coulthard out due to hydraulics issues, Ferrari did take their first constructors' title since 1983. Frentzen, Ralf Schumacher and Alesi completed the points. In a season full of drama, it had been a very close fight to the end that determined the championship winners. This will continue into 2000, a season we will explore next time. Until then, like, subscribe, and goodbye.